Aleem Manji Architects, celebrating 10 years of architecture.
Landmark was one of the first commercial projects we actually did as AMA. I love this project. It was a tight project. We were on a quarter of an acre, pretty much surrounded all around by buildings, and we had a very tight building line. But the thing about it was the area in which it was actually located. It was located in the famous Karen Triangle, and we had to get a design for a shopping center within that small constrained area that didn't look completely out of place, but at the same time look a little bit modern, which a bit of a challenge, as you can imagine. But we had a lot of fun doing it. What we figured right from the outset is we needed to do two things. Number one, we needed to maintain thermal control, but at the same time we also wanted to focus a bit on the material palette. What is it that the building would look like? Which is where we came up with our design principle. We wanted to use natural materials as much as possible externally, so we leaned towards using the coral stone cladding as well as timber boarding externally. Then came what I thought was probably the best part of the design. We took a modern design and used very traditional handrails, which was gum poles. So we made all of our handrails, our staircases, balustrating, all of that was done out of gum poles, which kind of gave a very nice rustic look and feel.
So in 2005, I acquired a small piece of land in Karen, a small pocket on Karen Close. Kept it for a couple of years and finally decided that the time was right to build something on it. So then a colleague of mine said that he knows an architect who is really good at bringing out something different in the market. So he referred me to Aleem, and Aleem and I met for coffee at Westgate, and we discussed the project, and he took a little insight of what I was looking for, and then he came to look at the site.
The design principle itself was fairly basic in its central tenet. Again, we were using space itself. We wanted to create a beautiful atrium space in the center, which would connect all the floors together. But the atrium space was also important in that it provided a natural cooling system. It was open to the top, though it did have a roof cover. The idea was that the hot air would come in from down, make its way up the tower, and flow out. So there's this continuous flow of air which naturally ventilates the entire space. And that worked out really well for us. It's a good added bonus that you can look down into the atrium and see this really beautiful landscape area, which I think worked out quite well for us. The rooftop itself was lovely. It was converted into a restaurant from what I understand, and it seems to be working fairly well at the moment. The material palettes, like I said, externally, I feel is what the key was to this design. So the use of the coral stone, the use of the timber boarding, and the use of fairly succinct choice of material colors worked out really well for us. This is one of my favorite projects that we've ever actually done, and I'm really happy that we were approached to do it.
So the best part of this project, I think, is normally people say that when we do a project we should have an independent person from our side who needs to overlook this. But the comfort we got with Aleem, the personal comfort I got with Aleem was fantastic, and I said that I really don't want a middleman in this project. You deal with the contractor, you overlook it, build it the way you think is the best. Let's have a fixed price, no variance, and let's go ahead with it. Unfortunately, it came out the way it was. The architect was good, the contractor was fantastic as well. The final product was beautiful. It's still very beautiful today. It's nice to go to.
10 years of great designs and great service. Aleem Manji Architects.